Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. So the returning friends and family, I already know it's peace and blessings. I'll give y'all a little bit of time to tune in. Apologies for the change in schedule. I was trying to do some of this yesterday, but yeah. Before I even get into it, again, congratulations to all the parents and the proud parents of 2024. Uh, yeah, apparently they had something for these youth yesterday, hence the noise pollution. So I like to try to keep myself in a clear balance of things, even when I am out and about. But I couldn't escape those sounds yesterday, and honestly, I wasn't trying to get no darn copyright, especially if I ain't the one playing it. Tamika, what's going on, baby? Harry, what's going on, my guy? See you again. First things first, hopefully everybody have a blessed and productive Saturday. Hopefully everybody's smoothly getting through their plans and executions for the weekend. For those in the city, it's a hot box already. Make sure y'all keep yourself hydrated as always. Keep yourself at least healthy and preserved as always. We got this heat wave coming up soon. Don't need a lot of y'all passing out, like I said, from heat stroke or anything along those lines. So especially the main people that rock with the collective. Make sure y'all keeping yourselves hydrated, and if you need to do whatever you need to do what's necessary. D Rob, what's going on? What's going on? And whatever plans you might have for the weekend, the main thing, like I said, is keep yourself safe, keep yourself preserved. That's really about it. Um, Definitely keep your eyes focused and glued into what's going on around you. Appreciate everybody that tuned in Thursday for the conversation. Definitely one that was needed. And despite the little fake interruption, uh, I do it. Still get back to the content. So, Rudy, what's going on? If you didn't miss it, you can catch the replay. Um, don't worry if you hear me if you hear me play the troll drop, you know why. Oh, they deep now. Which one of y'all brought the crows over here? Which one of y'all brought the crows over here? They on it today. Now, today just a little chop up. I really want to reiterate something I was speaking about a while back. And again, this is for some of you parents who need to hear this. Um, Again, it's come to my attention that some of y'all, especially in the neighboring areas, like you're not really focusing and paying attention to what your kids are doing. Your kids are not just being kids and being fake rambunctious. They're doing things that they see adults do, doing things that they see other kids do. Now, again, there's one thing to be out and about during the day. That's different. You're out and about with your friends during the day, different. Anytime after 2, 3 in the morning, none of y'all old enough to even buy a pack of cigarettes or a beer. That's a problem. Brown Sweet, what's going on, baby? Again, I'm just calling it like I see it. There's no way you can tell me that you're not aware of where your children are, especially again when they are under the stages and ages of preteens. Um, a lot of things could happen out there in these streets, and you know that. And if you don't know it, you better get to know it. Um, you not paying attention to your children, especially where their whereabouts are, so on and so forth. Um, it could lead to a lot of heartaches and headaches, and a lot of tragedy and drama too. And I'm not saying it just to pat myself on the back. I'm not saying it just because I feel it needs to be said. No, this is a real situation that really needs to be rectified. There's some of you who really aren't paying attention to what your kids are getting into. Before time, some of your kids are already into things that they ain't normally supposed to be into. Now, again, you really don't want to take that chance of your child becoming either another statistic in that damn jail system or another cemetery plot. I'm sorry to say it that way. There's some of y'all that are gonna pay the price heavy this year. I feel it coming. And the only reason why I say it is because there's some of y'all that don't even care. Some of you are allowing your kids to be disrespectful with adults, especially adults that at some point in time might be able to help them with certain things, or probably has already helped them with certain things. That's a problem right there. The respect factor as far as how it's given, how it's received, is well off. Again, no child that's well below the height, especially well like you really still look like a kid. Why are you out at 3, 4 in the morning? What are you doing outside that's so impactful? Now I can see if you up early because you with a group of adults, y'all might be going to some form of a game or some form of event, something like that. All right, cool. But again, you should never be within that much distance of your children and knowing where they are. If your kids is telling you they're going to a friend's house, then typically you should stay at that friend's house. And if they plan on doing anything else outside of that, then either the parents need to let it be known to you, or your kids need to let it be known to you. Because you could be thinking, prime example, your kid might be going to a friend's house just to study and probably hang out, play the games or whatever. And they could be out and about doing simple things like graffitiing, destroying property, getting into fights. You don't know that. Again, you don't know what your kids are up to if you really not paying them any attention. And some of you who are, some of y'all even got your kids tracked as far as their phones and all of that, which is a smart thing. Because if you're telling me you're going in and then I come to find out you ain't even in, that's the problem right there. Deception. The reason why I say this, some of you who are going to definitely cry this year, is because some of you have already let your kids do what they want to do. They ain't listening to reason. Knowing what I know now, let me would have been able to stay out past a certain time at that age. Probably wouldn't be here to tell a tale, depending on what you're getting into. That's why I say it's good to have a balance, a strong form of communication. Some of you, your kids are lying straight to your face, and you just allowing it. That's not a good look at all. Like I was saying the last time, situation with me. Had I not been on point, and if I had not been where I needed to be, these young ones would have got away with a whole bunch of stuff. But again, it's sad that you got kids out here at this time of the morning stealing and destroying and vandalizing. I feel like right now it is a destitute time because there's some things that again there's just no need to do. Like prime example, you're trying to steal certain items, but these certain items you could get them for wholesale. If you could spend, or if your parents could spend $500, almost $1,000 on outfits, shoes, and all that, why y'all can't buy up necessary things that you need if that's what you want to steal? Sorry, I don't see the point in that. Like you trying to steal beverages and things along those lines, go get them by the boat. When you got the money, go get them by the boat. It's not hard to do. Things that again, you probably could either got in the store or you probably could have just went and did and got your own. Trying to steal. It makes sense. And like I said, none of y'all look over the age of 14. So again, you're already leading a life that's not gonna get you nowhere. Some are gonna learn the hard way. Some may not learn the hard way. The ones who are gonna learn the hard way are the ones who families are gonna really cry and suffer. Again, I would say in this instance right here, while you still got the chance to do so, better be more vocal with what what's needed. Have to be a part of that household for real. Supposed to make sure these young ones is not out here wrecking and ruining their lives. Because I'm sorry, there's nothing, it's nothing successful about having too many, too many charges or too many whatever's on your rap sheet. It's almost the same way with kids getting suspended or even getting that don't look good. They keep getting suspended or keep getting transferred from school to school. Because then after a while, where you gonna be able to transfer them to? If you done burned out your options, now you're stuck with whatever option you are left with. Like what was being said the other day about they might be trying to get rid of these regents exams. Basically, they basically giving all you kids, especially in the city right here, the opportunity to not have to worry about those things getting you to the next grade. It's basically we are going to skip you or we're going to make sure that no child is left behind regardless. Even if we have to eliminate this so they can graduate. But I feel that's a cheap shortcut to a degree. Some of these people could actually graduate on time and do the things necessary if they keep their mind focused on these books. Brenda, what's going on, baby? I already know if y'all just tuned in at the like button. But yeah, it's crazy because again, it's getting to a point where guess what? We ain't even see we don't see truant officers no more. Now, for those that was in the city, y'all know them niggas was heavy. Y'all know they was heavy. You know, we don't even see that. And the thing is, I can't really even get mad at the truant officers because they was just doing their jobs. But it's sad again when you have parents that are being that neglectful to that point. Like I said, not making sure your kids are at least touching the school grounds. You know, it's it's critical that you really just start getting back with the notion of parenting. Not trying to sound funny, and I'm not poking or making any judgments. I'm just giving a real clear visual option. Basically. You're better off trying to raise your kids the way you're supposed to raise your kids, not the way the system wants you to raise the kids, and definitely not the way you feel you should. No, you need to raise them within the right parameters. Sorry, you're gonna have to. There's some of you who might cry somewhere down the line only because, damn, I really destroyed my child. And it's gonna hit you. Yeah, because if you're not showing that love and not giving them what's needed, not giving them that nurturing, you know, this is where they start going for the bad. First thing they're gonna think is that forget that they don't got protection. They gonna think that nobody cares enough to, give them something. Give them something that's gonna be useful and critical, for the long run. And again, there are parents who are making the right adjustments, doing the right things, actually making sure that their kids are doing the necessary. Again, when the kids are up under your roof, you are supposed to establish rules and regulations. When you don't establish rules or any form of anything, uh, that's when it becomes the problem. Like again, kids, I don't care what age you are, should not be cursing at your parents, especially if they raised you right. You know, it's the ultimate form of disrespect. And again, there are some of y'all, even in your adulthoods, who are disrespecting your parents, which is a disrespect right there. All in all, disrespect, regardless to what. Must have a respect regardless, but that don't necessarily mean you have to accept if you're coming from a toxic background. You can still love that person, even if they did give you birth. That don't mean you have to necessarily keep enduring the toxic and spewing on with the toxic behavior. Some of y'all really need to really sit down and have a talk at the damn round table again. Because it's clear that parents and kids are not communicating the way they're supposed to communicate. There are parents who are communicating and doing what's best, and it's a good thing. You know, again, your child should feel safe, but also protected. They should feel safe to come to you and talk to you about anything, and they should feel protected and knowing that no matter what's going on, you're all gonna get through what you want to get through together and stand united as a front. It is the most important thing to remember. Again, there's some of y'all who are not gonna take heed to that message. Again, I'm sorry, but I already feel it, especially with this summer coming around. It's gonna be a lot of mourning. Some of it could be avoided. Some of it might not be avoided. Again, better start paying attention to these youth. Because again, there should be no reason a child that's under the age of even 12 is out and about all hours of the night, trying to either be around adults or trying to get into adult situations that they shouldn't be getting into. There's people who didn't even get a chance to get into their early 20s because everything that they was doing in the streets. And that karma came back hard. Like prime example, your kids is out here stealing and doing whatever. Guess what? They might think they're gonna get away with it, and they might not get away with it. It could be their luck that they think they're gonna go do something, and they end up getting robbed for their life. Sorry, because some people are not gonna be playing around, and it's not the. It's just giving you a real reality of it. Some people are not gonna care, you know, especially when it comes down to protecting what's necessary, their property, family, anything. Shouldn't keep going on like that. You know, look at some of the videos you got now, or look at just what you see now. Some of these kids out and about stealing stuff, boosting stuff, things they don't even need to. And some of these kids they got it good. Some of these kids got it the way even the stores, if the stores rock with them like that or rock with the family, they might give them something on time, give them something on credit, or they might just give them something good regardless. Just don't need to steal it. You're stealing the simplest things, prime example, like juice, soda, chips, things like that. Yeah, there's some kids out here right now doing the utmost right now. But you know what makes it worse is when the adults are given the same form of things that we see in them. Now, same night, I intervened on that situation. It's also the same night, you had a group of adults trying to do the same thing. And then again, you had one or two women, one looked like she was pregnant. So you're going to risk yourself trying to do something you didn't need to do when you could have just either came back the next morning to do something, or you could have just went and got it, you know, wholesale. Hey, what's going on, my guy? I'm telling you this right now because again, I really see a lot of people going to be crying. It's not just in my city; that's around states. Period. A lot of people are going to be crying. Now, for the parents who are doing what's necessary and doing everything they possibly can, keep on doing what you're doing. If your goal is to make sure you raise your kids in the right atmosphere, or at least try to raise them like they're in the right atmosphere, keep on with the journey. You're gonna have to. And again, you got to remember there's some things that you're gonna really at some point have to sit down and have a talk with your kids about. Like, you really have to show them the ropes. When you bring children into the world and you don't give them any insight, knowledge, wisdom, or anything along those lines, you get what pretty much we getting now. People that don't know how to cope, so they find crime to a degree to do that. Marlene, what's going on, baby? See, again, I really just feel uncomfortable with kids, especially that young, and being out all hours of the night. There's a lot of different things that happen. Again, your kid don't even got to be in the midst of no street drama or nothing, but could be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Had too many stories of that too. Shootouts done gone wrong. Kids who wasn't supposed to be outside that late being the ones that's being the victim. It's the problem. So again, why are your children out all hours of the night? Some of y'all gonna have to teach your kids not so much as just survival skills. You have to teach them emotional intelligence and awareness. Definitely gotta teach them about being humble, but also being stern with certain things in life. I'm telling you, it's a balance of things you have to give these kids in order for them to at least get into that right form of thinking. Now, when they do get into adulthood, the decisions that they decide to make, that's solely on them. And I'm not saying that, oh, every house is going to be peaches and cream and every house is going to be leave it to beaver and all that. No, no, no. But again, there should be a balance within the household. It's supposed to be some form of order. And when your kids are actually doing shit that they shouldn't be doing, that's kind of out of order. Like again, no child should be telling their mother when they plan on coming in the house. I'm not gonna lie to you. It does start with the background. I think this is why we getting some of what we have seen as being products in this world around us. You have to teach them all forms of awareness and intelligence. It's critical, not just to their behavioral structure, but it's just critical for life. You know, it's all said and done. In order to avoid that unnecessary drama from hitting your family, you're gonna have to start giving your children opportunities. But you also are gonna have to watch how they do things. See, like even during the afternoons, right? It don't be much for them to do. This is why I see some of these kids are getting into the stuff they get into. Some of them are coming from backgrounds where either both parents could be working, or it could be a single parent situation, or it could be a parent and a step parent, or it could be grandparents, uncles, aunts, whoever's raising them. But in that same token, again, there still has to be form and structure in the house. Still has to be form and structure in what you're doing in life. And that's critical. Now, again, they giving you kids in the city basically or that's coming in afterwards, they are eliminating what was considered necessary to either see if you was passing into that next grade or if you was passing into graduation overall. Now they're eliminating that because apparently, like I said, that's supposed to be the reasons why a lot of them ain't going to school or a lot of them ain't trying to learn to do nothing because of these quote unquote state exams. But again, you got to make sure your children are focused in those books if you want them to succeed in something. Cool gamer, what's going on? You know, you got to remember this part. The success within the bloodline of your family starts within the parents, mother and the father, or even the mother alone is supposed to establish something. Supposed to establish that united front, basically. Mo, what's going on, baby? That's supposed to be able to come together and make sure that your kids are basically not going to be the ones left holding the bag. You know, and again, the main thing is trying to keep them protected as possible. There's no protection when your kids are out doing things that they ain't got no business doing. And in certain instances, this is how you get certain teen pregnancies as we speak now. Not paying attention to what your kids is doing, who they actually with. You know, again, that could be a downfall. It could be a downfall because again, your child ain't old enough to even have a job the way they're supposed to. How they gonna take care of a kid? If that situation does occur. Something to think about. Simba good, Mo. I done took him out for his walk before it got extremely hot out here. So he good. Uncle L, what's going on, my guy? See, again, we know everybody is going to raise their kids different. Everybody has different ways to make sure that a family line is where it needs to be at intact. But then there's some who their method, it ain't working. It's backfiring. Like, see, back in the day, like I said, when it was said you better be in here before these lights come on, it really meant that. And 9 out of 10, if your mother or anybody had to come get you, it was going to be a problem. Or if they caught you somewhere, especially somewhere way out of your vicinity or well from where you were supposed to be at, that was going to be the problem. The difference between that era and this era now is all about technology. At least from what I've seen, it's all about technology. Now, yeah, you can track your kids, you can do all of this, but you need to be more visual and vocal on things for real. If there's things on here you feel you shouldn't be getting into, you need to sit down and break it down, even if they are going to be on here. Some things they ain't gonna never be able to avoid because it's just gonna be out there in the public, you know. But there's other things that again you need to make sure you're not getting into. See, back in the day, we didn't have cell phones and all of that. Now I'm going back to that era. If you had a cell phone, you know that shit was bulky as all hell, almost like a landline phone. That was the only difference. Yeah, we still had communication, but not like how it is now. Like if you was literally saying you going to a friend's house, even if your mother did call over this, the minute you wasn't over there or you lied about something, you know it was over with. See, because again, in that era, parents were doing what they were supposed to be doing now, holding their kids accountable when their kids are doing wrong. I spoke about that recently when, like I said, the guy basically turned his kids in after finding out they robbed the bank. He was supposed to do that because if you didn't raise them to be that way, uh, they shouldn't be nowhere around you or trying to get you to do anything. Then they'll say you harboring fugitives, aiding and abetting, so on and so forth. We don't need that. I honestly always felt no real child's gonna put their parents through that much stress and disdain, but that shoot, I beg to differ on certain instances because I see it for what it is. Anything to get people out the way they feel is going to be an authority head over them, they'll do it. It's almost like you're gearing up to get rid of the adult factor of being an adult. You want these people to raise their kids and barely raise them right. Nah, you gotta remember that at the end of the day, you had options. I believe a lot of these kids and a lot of these teens and even shoot a lot of these young adults still have chances and opportunities to become better and progress in life. But it's sad when you got some people who just don't care. You don't know if you're prime example is some of y'all letting your daughters be out all hours of the night. That right there again is a problem. And then if something bad happens, now everybody want to be in an uproar. Everybody wants to stand up in arms. But where was all of this when that child was supposed to be in that house? Or when that child wasn't supposed to be somewhere they wasn't supposed to be? Real spill, what's going on, baby? Rice, what's going on, my guy? And it's sad that at least when you look at it, it really is sad that the only time everybody seems to bear in arms is when something bad already done happened. Something good happening, or when something good is supposed to be happening, or nobody stand up for nothing. You are supposed to be doing something that's right. You don't stand up. You know it's not right to be seeing no young kids out there late in the evening, especially by themselves. And honestly, I've always felt kids are supposed to be amongst kids, and adults are supposed to be amongst the adults. But when you got some of you that are actually hanging with your kids all hours of the night, doing certain things along those lines, you are basically showing that you are no longer a parent, but you're more of a friend. Again, at a certain time, a lot of them need to be home, or you need to be somewhere within a safe zone. There's nothing safe about the streets after a certain time. And again, you gotta think about it. You still in the area where there's always going to be some form of violence. It'd be your luck that your kid is out and about, or it'd be your bad luck that your kid decide to go hang out with some friends on a late evening and something happens out there and your child don't come back home. That's a harsh reality that some people don't want to live with or don't want to think about. But you need to start thinking about it. Look at all the people who have lost people. You know, it's bad enough sometimes you gotta worry about stuff happening during the day. But the nighttime is definitely the worst. Again, it is about trying to get it together, y'all. You don't want your kids to continue to be these statistics. And again, you don't want them to crash out before they even get a chance to really learn what life is about. Life is about space and again opportunity. Hold on one second. I don't shoot. My cousin just texted me. I don't shoot. Oh shoot. What the hell she doing? My bad, y'all. My cousin out here, y'all. Oh man. No doubt, Brown Sweet. Appreciate you, baby. See again, it's almost about the time to what I was saying. And I was speaking about this recently. This was a little bit after Mother's Day. So now I'm going to speak to the fathers that need to hear it. If you knew what you was getting yourself into when you got yourself into those situations, the most you could do, as any real man would, is make sure that your child is getting that balance and being taught something outside of, again, just being in the streets. It is imperative, though, that you, again, fathers, make sure you're teaching your kids useful, teach them something useful, teach them something that's definitely going to be educating them in the long run. Give them a reason to be better in life. Show them that no matter what the world is throwing you, that you can still get through anything. You just gotta want to do it. There's some of y'all who really should pay attention if your kids is indoors or not. Again, because guess what? You do not want to be seeing a funeral home and your child being in that box. You do not want to be sitting behind no glass window or even coming up for a visit because your child didn't get it right. See, some of these kids are doing the things that I was speaking about earlier, like the stealing, vandalizing, or whatever. You wanna know why? Because they think that's fun. They being taught that that's the way, that's the way, that's how you gotta do it. That's how you have fun. Nah, you can have fun without getting into any form of madness or chaos. You just gotta be around the right set of people and the right environment. You don't always gotta be with the, yeah, I'm gonna do what my peoples is doing. So if all your people decide to jump off a bridge, that old proverbial saying, you want to jump off with them. And the sad part is some of you would say, yeah, I'm jumping off, son. I'm jumping with my peoples. So you're not thinking about yourself. You know, you thinking about what everybody else is thinking about. Absolutely nothing. You ain't thinking about safety. Not thinking about reason. Again, just doing things that you feel you need to do. You feel you need to do it, but you don't have to. You don't have to do certain things to always fit in. And that's something else a lot of y'all need to teach. Teach these kids that it's all right to be their natural selves and be themselves, period. When they get into adulthood, whatever the decisions they going to make, however they decide they're going to live their life, the most you can do is either support it or, move away from it. But when they are living under your roof, you definitely are supposed to be setting the example and setting the standards of safety. You can't say that I keep my family safe if your children is out late in the evening. Your sons, your daughters, your nieces, and your nephews. It's not cool. Even your little cousins and them, nah, what you doing? Telling you this right now is it's critical now that you really start doing what's necessary and educating them and putting them on the right, putting them on the right spectrum of things. There's some people who feel they're gonna do what they do because they tried to do the regular 9 to 5, or they try to do whatever, and because it didn't work, oh, I'm gonna just give up. I'm gonna just do I'm gonna just take the shortcut. You can't always take a shortcut. And not a lot of times your first job is going to be that main job. You know, you just gotta push them with all forms of positivity. This is why it's important for them to have some form of education so they can keep excelling in life. So they can understand that they will always have multiple options to put themselves in a greater position. And they shouldn't have to learn a whole bunch of different lessons on the hard tip just for it to happen. You shouldn't have to keep getting arrested too many times before you finally realize it's not doing nothing for you. Because by the time you done stop and decide you want to do something, again, sometimes they will be looking at your rap sheet. And if your rap sheet is not looking all of that savory, you can forget about getting hired. And even if you get hired, they still gonna be watchful on you. Like I said before, in certain instances, any form of anything you got on your rap sheet, they're gonna start looking at you. They're gonna be making sure you're not reverting back to your old ways, basically. You know, each kid, in my opinion, each adult needs, you know, they need the equal amount of opportunity. But everybody has to learn individually. Not everybody want to learn fast, and not everybody, you know, everybody's going to make it. The ones that's not going to make it is because not so much they ain't pushing hard or that they ain't trying to do it. But if they don't got nobody else trying to help them outside of just one or maybe two people, it becomes a problem. Like I said, parents was holding kids accountable for everything, but they was also holding you to a certain standard. They didn't give you too much of a high standard or a low standard. They gave you an equal standard. Look here, this is what you need to do. In order for you to progress, you're gonna have to do this. You might not want to, but you're gonna have to. If it's for the betterment of you, you're gonna have to make the necessary steps when needed. You know? Truth of the matter is, I do see some changes happening at some point. Out of all of those who are really going through it, or all of those who are really like just stuck in that middle barrier, basically, I see it getting better. But again, for those parents who need to hear it, while you still have the chance, space, and opportunity to do so, make sure your kids is on the right. Make sure they on the up and up. And the main thing to remember is that you don't give up on them either, no matter what it is. You don't give up on your children. When you start giving up on your children, you giving up on yourself, basically, or being a parent. Because what was the purpose of you bringing these children here if you're not going to do what's necessary? You're not going to learn them something, you know? And I would hate to keep hearing these same stories of parents not doing right or not paying attention, and now their children or whoever got to suffer. Things you need to teach them, and not the things you just want to teach them. Things that you actually need to teach them. Those are things that should be established from when they are starting to understand and comprehend outside of a baby and a toddler stage. Main thing to remember for some of y'all is really be a parent. You know, make sure at least that your kids get past a certain standard in life, and whatever they decide to do after that, hey, that's solely on them. Yeah, not gonna lie to you though. My fault. Trying to make sure them crows ain't coming back, y'all. Y'all see me play the troll drop, you know why? I hear them niggas creeping. I hear them creeping. Marlene, I ain't messing with you. Yeah, that thumbnail was sitting there for a minute. Oh man. No, but you know, again, the main thing you want to remember is again, you have to make sure that they are getting to they not just they goal and destination in life, but you want to make sure they getting a good footing on how to be a sustainable person. You know, you have to maintain and sustain everything around you, and that's the balance of life too. You know, even when things might seem unbalanced, your most important thing sometimes again getting yourself back on track, getting your focus back. You know, but again, for some of y'all to avoid that situation from happening, like I was saying earlier, start watching your kids. Start actually being parents. And some of y'all that are even in this culture right now, you're doing the Gen Z. You basically doing Gen Z work. Sorry to say it that way. Uh, it's time for you parents to again start holding your kids accountable when they are in the wrong on things or when they move in the wrong light. You gotta hold them accountable. If you look at some of the movies that we watch or that we've come to watch, it wasn't just that it was fictional or whatever the case is. Rather, it was fictional, non-fictional, whatever. It was always some form of a damn story that coincides with what the hell we see in the world today. You know, back in the day, parents definitely was doing what they was needing to do, keeping that strong focus and that balance, so these kids would have a better understanding and even a better sense of life and how to move. But in this era right now, a lot of you, like I said before, you're afraid to be parents because you allow the system to make you afraid of being a parent. I can remember back in the day, yeah, our parents loved the hell out of us. But if we had to get disciplined for the wrong things that we were doing, and these was things that definitely could have got us in some real serious heat, yeah, we was going to get disciplined. And yeah, we was going to be held accountable. And yes, we was also still going to be punished. We was getting our butts whooped. We was being on punishment, but we was also learning, yeah, this is what accountability is. You're not just going to do things and think you're going to always get away with it. You can't disrespect every adult, prime example, as a kid, and think that one of them adults won't put you in your place or that a couple of them won't put you in your place. It will happen, which is needed because there's always supposed to be respect amongst adults and elders, especially coming from kids. And when these elders and these adults are the ones that are actually doing what's what for you, whether they related to you or not, you are supposed to always give that respect, regardless. This person might not be related to you, but in the same token, if this person was teaching you how to do karate, teaching you how to do certain math and things that your parents don't know how to do, give them that damn respect. It's only right, you know. It's only right that you do so. Oh, for the mods that's in here right now, just in case of anything, you already know the regular routine. Um, because I am going to still continue on this too. Hold on, give me 1 second. late. I was having a sound technical difficulty. I mean, man, that's what I'm saying, Marlene. But you see the thing, like I said, it's crazy because that aspect of things shifted. And then for some people, it's, oh, yeah, what you know. Nah, it's not, you know. 'Cause you know what we saying is right. And you know that it ain't right for some of the things that you've seen. Yeah, you can't be Captain Saber to everybody. But for the ones you know actually have potential or could be that extraordinary person, well, why not take that risk on? You know, like I said, you had people who was doing the things that, prime example, well before they thought about cutting programs. Still had an abundance of people that was doing certain things for these youth outside of their homes. Because again, we know not everybody is coming from the same type of household. Some are coming from a violent, abusive, even a sexual abusive household. Some are coming from just drug infested households. Some are coming from street households. People who are still in the streets, tied to gangs, so on and so forth. They're coming into that culture. But for everybody else, you know, it's pretty much a mixed bag, you know. But even back in the day, it was still a respect level. It didn't matter. It was still a respect level on things. He wasn't allowing these youth to be out and about doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And when we found out they was doing stuff, shoot, we held them accountable like we were supposed to. And that's what needs to happen. Some more people need to start standing up like that when they need to. Like with my situation, I wasn't chasing down no kids, but I didn't have to. It's just like I said, the fact that I scared the hell out of them because they was oblivious that I was even there should tell you something. Like some of y'all are not realizing your kids are doing things for show and tell. But if something happens to your child, God forbid, and guess what? Who gonna be at fault? Your child or you or both? It's gonna be a combination of both. But it's solely on laying back on you, the parent, because you wasn't doing enough. You know, because again, you know, there was things being done because it was given structure. It was given what it was supposed to give. You know, it was basically given, you know, the outline to how things are. When you're doing wrong things or you're doing things outside of what you're supposed to be doing, there will be consequences to that. If you out robbing, stealing, or even harming people when you don't necessarily have to do it, that karma will come back twice as hard. You know, that part too, Marlene, we've been spoke about that. There's a lot of y'all that keep still trying to be friends with your kids. No, you can have love and all of that for your kids. But you can't be with your kids like y'all chill buddies. Again, it's supposed to be respect even when it come down to how you speaking to adults, how you speaking to your own parents. Somebody be calling, what you want? Shoot, back in the day, let you say what to any adult or elder. You was either going to get that verbal warning or you was going to get a physical warning. It ain't like that no more. Because again, there's some of y'all who are scared that this is the things that can happen. Oh, if I do this, my child probably gonna. First of all, if your child is feeling like they being abused and they really not, then that's something again y'all need to sit down and have a discussion on. Because again, there's certain things that should not be an option. Like again, there's some kids who still will do it to this day, calling ACS and trying to say they're being abused or that they're being mistreated. Now again, you got a roof over your head, clothes on your back. You got all the latest gadgets, so on and so forth. How the hell could you be getting abused? I'll wait. How the hell can you be getting abused if you're getting everything, and even to a point you're getting stuff that your parents wasn't even getting as a kid? Not gonna lie, certain things that's just is starting to warp the mind, at least for some people. I ain't trying to be no wet blanket, and no, I ain't trying to be holier than thou or anything. But I am giving a clear view on how I'm seeing things right now, and it's really sad, man. And it's not about being in control, but it's more about just doing the necessary things you're supposed to do. Not supposed to be no unruly czar dictator in your household. No, you are supposed to be the kings and queens of your households. Yes, but again, it's supposed to be a balance. You want your quote unquote people in your flock to love and respect you and to love and honor you. And you gotta make sure you're giving everything that's needed. And certain things we kind of laughed at. We laughed at it because we didn't think that it would take it this far as, we didn't think it was going to take it this far. You know, certain kids really being disrespectful and out of pocket with parents. We didn't think it was going to get to that reaches. The numbers are getting high now. No, this is my thing again. You know, setting balance, and also setting a hierarchy of things. That is important. Now, prime example is some of you who say you try to keep your kids safe at all costs, but you're not being safe if you have your kids out here looking all types of ways neither. There's some of you parents who are gonna have to be mindful and wary because again, this world is completely different. Serious, what's going on, baby? You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Happy Saturday to everybody that's pulling in, those in the bushes watching. My bad, y'all. I'm 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 loving every minute of this last bit of shade that I got. Because once that sun move over, all bets is off. Again, apologies for yesterday. I really wanted to tackle this, but I couldn't even hear myself think with all that racket. Only thing that made it better, I could have kind of still did it last night, but I said I'd rather I did it today. When it started raining, I felt happy. It cleared out the way it was supposed to clear out. Tanya, what's going on, baby? But yeah, I'm gonna keep it in that realms for that part. You know, again, start paying attention to where your children are. Make sure they're around the right form of people. Make sure they're not getting into anything that again can set them back. Again, when you keep getting into situations like keep getting into to where you keep getting arrested by the law, or you have an issue with a whole bunch of different people, especially within your neighborhood, that's a problem right there. And that's a setback too. It's supposed to keep your mind clear. You know, again, there's some of you who will never be unchained and never live free because your mind is still chained up. There's so many different opportunities and possibilities for everybody to be something good or make something good happen. It's lack of motivation, at least in my opinion. Well, when all else fails, you gotta go boost, you gotta go do this, you gotta go do that. That shouldn't be the logic that you give everybody. That shouldn't be the logic that anybody should really live by. I felt if one or two things you're doing don't work, okay, well, try your hand at something else. Might work. So, not gonna lie to you though. Um, I do see some changes happening for the better. Some changes I actually see happening for the worse. Sad part about it is the ones that's going to take the turn for the worse again. It's going to make a lot of y'all cry. It's going to make you cry again because lack of parenting, lack of a structure, lack of rules, lack of awareness. Because how are you sure that your family's going to be safe if you don't even know if your kids is out and about, or if you don't know your kids done snuck out for the night? See, again, we've watched certain things throughout the course of history. We don't watch certain shows, movies, documentaries, all of that. And again, some of them did get a clear message on what I'm speaking about today. See, back in the days when we know some of these kids were sneaking out, yeah, they were sneaking out. They thought they had a fast one. But always remember, it was always going to be that one time. I'm talking about the ones who was rebellious. There was always going to be that one time they found themselves getting caught. You know, James, what's going on, my guy? At some point, you knew you was going to get caught. You know, it's one thing again to ask permission to do something, but it's another thing when you just take it upon yourself to just go do it and don't even bring it up to your parent, guardian, or whoever. Again, we used to hold them accountable. You said you was going to be here, yeah, but okay, but you still said you was going to be hit. How did you end up getting hit? You know, we was holding them responsible like we were supposed to. Holding their asses responsible. Because again, there's nothing good in the streets for these children well after midnight. Nothing. They ain't gaining no form of employment opportunity or anything outside of that. And again, even while being on playtime or what they think is playtime, it could be their last time because again, we still have ignorance as we speak. We still got emotional men and women out here who are still playing around with guns and still trying to prove something to somebody. Sad about it though. You know, and again, a lot of this is just being glorified, and some people even like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or oh, you act like you got something. No, I'm just giving you a clear view on why things are turning the way they turn. Because again, these people who are being raised like that are coming from either unstable backgrounds or they just decided when they got older this is what they was gonna do. Probably. You know? And everybody again, remember this one thing. Balance, principles, integrity, motivation, drive, all those good words that you hear now and then, it starts within you. It starts with you, the parent, and then you gotta make it start within your children. Because again, your children are not gonna be carbon copies of you. They're gonna be a carbon copy of you if they look like you. But as far as their personality and everything else, nah, that's gonna be completely different. You know? Not gonna lie though, I feel that the time to really start educating is now. time to really start getting back to holding people accountable, especially the irresponsible ones who are just bringing kids in the world. That should come back. And again, it's not about judgment. It's more on the lines again about bringing awareness and safety. Everything is fun and games until your kid is either lost for good or somebody that maimed them. Now they can't do nothing at all, or somebody that got them locked up. Yeah, for those who are actually out and about, again, make sure you keeping yourself hydrated. Like I said earlier, necessary water and Gatorade. There's a hot one, even for those in the city. I think it's like 83 right now, but that sun feel like it's at 1,000. The UV rays are up. If you having issues with your skin, or if you having issues with anything along those lines, and you really can't be out and about in this type of heat, your best bet is to do what's necessary to try to keep yourself cool. And again, you're gonna need to do so because to avoid that heat stroke or anything along those lines, yeah, you gotta keep yourself hydrated at all times. Not gonna lie though, um, interesting turns of events. Because like I said, it's bad enough you have to worry about specific situations that we see happening. Like prime example, people being shot and unalived for all the wrong reasons. Shouldn't happen. And it definitely shouldn't happen to those who ain't a part of anything. When it's all said and done, parents, you have to definitely pick that ball up, and you're gonna have to definitely start making the necessary adjustments so your team can see success. If your family is supposed to be like your sports team, you gotta have all the right calculated pieces, plays, and everything else you're gonna need if you want to really get high or get somewhere high level. You know, I'm sorry, but time is really of the essence. You know, you want more for your children. You don't want your kids to be failures in life. You don't want them to make the same mistakes you made. You don't want them to everything along those lines, like they always say. And you better make sure you stand on it. I can't sit here and say, "Oh, I want my kids to, I want my kids to be in the right spaces," but then again, they're not in the right spaces. Prime example: there's 4 little kids right now just came over this basketball court. None of them look over the age of 8 or 9 years old. But these will be the type of kids you see outside now. Even on a late night playing basketball, doing things that could, it's not cool. Kids shouldn't be out super hours in the night. Even if they not into street activity, that's a way they could get led into street activity, or street activity can end up happening and they end up being the victim of circumstance. Appreciate you for dropping the link series, baby. Working hard in this damn sun on my damn skin, baby. Man, I was trying to enjoy the rest of this piece of shade. It's gone. Damn, it is gone. Making my damn scalp hurt. Y'all pray for my post, guys. Pray for my post, guys. Yeah, you gotta remember that though. You have to be active and proactive when it comes to parenting. You're gonna have to remain active in how your kids are being raised, what they're getting into. What's going on? You gotta have all eyes out. And I'm not saying you gotta be no Mother Mary, no Saint Vincent, or any of that shit. No, but you need to remember that once children are involved, you gotta raise them the best way you can, and you gotta give them everything knowledgeable that you can give them. Don't just give them pieces of BS that you probably heard and you already done. No, teach them everything you really need to teach them. You know, even if it's down to the simplest tools, teach them that. They're gonna learn. One thing you really should be teaching them, I don't care who it is, you should be teaching them the simple things like how to fend for themselves, how to cook, you know, how to learn how to make certain things. Because when they get a certain age, guess what? They ain't always gonna want to be eating out all day. Teach them things that they're gonna need to learn for when they get older. Because again, when they do get into adulthood, how they gonna eat? How they gonna fend for themselves? How they gonna know what to take care of? If you ain't teaching them that, you ain't even teaching them how to pay bills. Teach them that simple thing. Teach them how to pay bills.
Thank you, DJ. Thank you.
There are certain things
Thank
you are
you.
supposed to teach them at a young stage because guess what? It will resonate and stay in their head until they get into adulthood. Like there's some people right now that don't gotta worry about their kids. They done taught them the basics, even down to the simplest. Look, nigga, invest this money if you need to invest it. It help. You know, again, you teaching them what you need to teach them. You know, and you don't have to worry about what you're giving them to be unraveled. I ain't got to worry about that because they gonna definitely grasp it, especially if you beat it into their head the right way. Like prime example, how you think they gonna learn how to read and write if you're not teaching them every day, or you're not reading to them every day? That's why they said reading is fundamental, but that shit is on all cylinders. My kids at some point are gonna be repeating and regurgitating words they hear and say. So again, it's important to make sure you're doing it. You know, give them more than just a skill in life. You know, give them something that they can reach for and they can achieve. And shoot, you won't keep hearing certain stories like you hearing. These young ones getting put in the midst of stuff they ain't need to be put in the midst of. But then again, I always said it was a community outreach. This is the difference between the community then and that. Again, well before budget cuts and everything else, you still had people that was willing to do things for the youth within that community. Yo, listen, we teaching tennis classes. Yo, we teaching this. Yo, we doing this. Look at it. Get your kids ready. We about to go play some football. Get your kids ready. We going on a field trip. We going to Disney World, Six Flags, somewhere. Look here. Just make sure on this day everybody is accounted for. Yada yada yada. We good to go. Again, bring back the necessary programs that's going to keep them kids on the up and up. This is why you got some of them being raised too emotional now. And this is why they doing emotional shit now. Somebody let me know and I said something wrong though. I feel that's where I'm going with it. You know, again, you gotta give them something that's going to be beneficial for the long run. Because your family tree is supposed to be successful. You want to make sure that everything you're giving them, when they have their own, they can give that same thing. Yes, we know the world is changing, but there's nothing wrong with adapting to certain changes. That's just part of life. You don't have to adapt to certain things, even for those getting older. You don't have to accept the fact your ass is getting older. Adapt to it. You know what you need to do. You know what you still can do. Still make yourself useful. If you had an issue where you was kind of screwing up, you got time to make it right. Again, it starts with you. You might have been raising your kids somewhat messed up, but if you got time to still correct a lot of things, correct it before it gets too crazy. I've always felt no child should be going against their parent. Not along those lines, like we friends, like nigga, fuck you. What? I mean, would have thought to say anything along those lines. You think I be talking to your ass right now? And I could have said it on multiple occasions. I'm just using me for example. I could have said there on multiple occasions, just me being young and dumbfounded to certain shit. But I'd have definitely lost a whole lot of teeth. You said what? Nah, I ain't doing that. And just for that, pick up your teeth and you sit right here in that corner and you study. You gonna go to school with no teeth or not? Don't matter. You're gonna be disrespecting that, and that's what I'm saying. The respect gotta come back. You know, stop letting the system tell you how to raise your kids. Stop letting everybody else tell you how to raise your kids because their method might not work for you. You gotta have your own method. Your method should be clear as day. Let me make sure my kid is not an early expiration date, and let me make sure that my kid is not gonna be close to an expiration date while being locked up. I don't want to see my kids in these type of situations. Let me show them something outside of these situations. Start getting cultured with your kids. You know, no doubt, serious baby. Be safe on that road, baby. I still want my ham steak though. Still want my ham steak. You know, appreciate y'all for dropping those. You know, appreciate y'all for being in here. I'm gonna hold y'all too crazy, but I felt like I mostly said what I needed to say from yesterday. You know, it's becoming a repetitive. It's really becoming a repetitive cycle. Um, Main thing I can tell you is again, don't put them on a super high pedestal. Give them something that's reachable. You're gonna hold them to a standard. Hold them to, if you want to say a gold standard, and that gold standard should have the most important things that's needed for your child's growth. So when they get into adulthood, they can do that same thing with their own. Not everybody should have to follow the same road just to try to get to some form of success. And some of y'all that travel down these roads don't never get nowhere in success. Why? Because you don't know where to begin. You don't know where to go from there, even if you do get successful. Because you don't have the right people around to give you the right forms of tools and knowledge. You could be a millionaire right now. And you could quickly lose that million within a day or two if you ain't careful in what you do. Gotta learn something. Investments. You know? You know, and there's some of y'all that really need to check yourselves because your kids ain't ready for any form of jail time or your kids ain't ready for that early grade. That's the main thing you should remember. So y'all think your kids about it. All right, you'll find out the hard way. Worst fear for a parent is, like I said, child being gone forever or being gone forever. However it goes, that's the worst thing. Stop letting the system tell you how to be a parent. You're just gonna have to start being one. When you made an adult decision to bring these children into the world, you also made a decision to be a responsible adult and a responsible parent to making sure of that. All right. Well, I got you here now. Make sure I'm gonna do what's needed. Don't want you falling through cracks of society, you know. But again, I would say this before I do get up out of here. There are some of you again who are gonna cry and you're gonna pay a hefty price. A message like this shouldn't be ignored, you know. And again, if you don't want your children to be them victims of circumstance, then make sure that they ass is in the house when they're supposed to be in the house. If they not in your house, at least make sure they are somewhere within the confines of being safe. There's nothing good for them outside after midnight. I'm gonna say that shit again. And with the rise of the migrants and everything else that's happening, it's gonna be a lot to deal with. So again, parents, be on guard with your kids on all courts. Again, It's a small problem that can be fixed, but for some people, they ain't gonna see it as a small fix. They gonna want to correct everything, and those are gonna be the ones that stand on the right. So again, it's important for you to make sure they are taking the necessary steps for progression. But all in all, I feel like I'm gonna revisit this again. That's why I said what I said the other day. Um, with the things that you are seeing on a day to day, your visuals, observations, even with the lessons that you see and learn, you know, it's showing what it is right now. The mind state of the community is in an influx right now. What we valued, we don't value no more. What we were high and proud on, it done disappeared. At some point, we got to get back to that normal. Got to get back to that form of normalcy. Stop trying to be your kid's friend and learn to be their parents. I'm speaking to those who need to hear it. And don't wait until later in stages to want to try to correct things because it's already going to be too late. For those who are following me on Clapper, I'm gonna try to come back with the good vibes tonight. Definitely, noise pollution or not, we still gonna be in the building. I definitely want to give another deep message on that angle too. So, like I said, for those following me on Clapper, I should be back, give or take, around 6:30, 7 o'clock. And yeah, I appreciate everybody that tuned in for the conversation. For those who might have just been tuning in, y'all already know y'all catch this replay. I was gonna drop the link, but I need to figure out what the hell I'm eating for lunch, my damn self. But again, I'll definitely drop the link because I'm revisiting this, and it could be tomorrow. Definitely want to be where I need to be at, so I can fully finish tackling at least a piece of this. You know, I'm gonna say this again for some of y'all that need to hear it. You can laugh now, she'll cry later. Think about what's needed. Think about the keys and the tools you need to keep your kids preserved and keep yourself preserved. Because what your kids get into, prime example, they might not be half of what you're gonna be. Just remember that part. But yeah, again, I'll see y'all at 7. As a matter of fact, yep, 7 o'clock. By that time, I should be finished with everything. Oh, at some point, for those who have been a part of this collective, I could be doing something. I'm scheming on something. But don't worry, y'all get to be a part of the scheme too. At some point, I'm about to do my own little short video of the year awards. Y'all get to pick and choose short videos that you see. Let's see which one is going to actually win at the end of this year. Let's see which one is going to end at the end of this year. I'm always going to do something one time or another, so I'll let y'all do all the decision making. I don't need to put up no poll on none of them. It'll definitely be something worth it though. I'm still figuring out a few things, but you know me. Definitely always a blessing to bring something to the people. And shout outs to everybody that's been a part of the collective, still becoming a part of the collective. You know, great conversation as always, and this is what's needed. Supposed to be able to come into a space and have a great time, but also have a decent conversation. Even when you do have forms of disagreements, doesn't mean you have to disrespect each other. Just remember that part. But yeah, let me get up out of here. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout outs to the replay game. Shout outs to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance today, y'all already know that love is love and it be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. That's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real. And again, for y'all enjoy y'all rest of your afternoons. I smell dinner over here in the chat room, but I ain't gonna be pointing no fingers. Serious? What's up? Nah, but you be safe on the road. And if y'all was on the road, definitely keep your eyes on it. And happy Father's Day to all the actual fathers who are actually doing what they supposed to be doing and taking care of their offspring, son. Father's Day is every day if you're doing what's necessary and if you're being a part of their life. And for all the stand-up fathers, y'all keep doing what's necessary, man. Keep building that other half of what we know we still can be. Build that other half of hope, education, and opportunity. You ain't far off. Keep yourself preserved, like I said, within the mind. Everything will fall in place. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Oh, wait a minute. I can't do that just yet. I forgot. I don't feel right if I don't do this today. Don't worry. I'll let you know which. Hold on. Let me see which videos. Hey, this might be on the list of videos. Might be. It might be one of the videos on that list. It might be. It might be. It might be. Oh, for your birthdays.
Dear friend, I know it's your birthday today, but keep yourself under control. Don't drink all the alcohol in town or the news will be like this tomorrow.
Oh, and for all the naysayers and everybody else that feel like they got a problem with the message.
Shit.
You know it's all good though. You know it's all good. And you enjoy your weekend too, Marlene, baby. Everybody that's out there for real, try to keep yourself hydrated. Oh, wait a minute. And for anybody else that really still had a problem. Wait, Marlene, don't leave. Don't leave just yet. Wait, I got something for you. Wait, I got something. Oh, don't worry. Like I said, y'all, yeah, y'all get to pick the fucking videos for the year. Don't worry. There's still more coming. Don't run, Marlene. Don't run. Don't run, serious. I know that's your favorite one. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Somebody was missing out this bunch today. Somebody was definitely missing out this bunch. Give me one second. Let's see how I'm gonna leave y'all out today. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna leave you out today. Wait a minute.
Mom, I just want an Oscar.
Yeah, an award for the craziest video. Yeah. I don't know. I think this is my personal favorite, or at least one of them. Baby Ruth is getting to that damn money. Yeah, but y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.